Can an air purifier that costs less than £70 be worth it? After we received a lot of positive feedback about our Xiaomi Pro 4 review, we decided to review another air purifier from Xiaomi, the Xiaomi 4 Compact, and it's available in the UK for £69.99, making it a potential contender for a best budget air purifier for small spaces. As always, if you don't want to watch my full review, naughty, here are the 4 things I really like and the 3 things I don't. So firstly, what I really like, its sub 45 decibel performance is really good value for the low initial price. It also has low running costs thanks to the low priced OEM filters and its low electricity consumption. The design is small and lightweight, and you can have it on top of furniture like I am now. It's also got a great app that's easy to use and unlocks a whole range of fan speed options. What I don't like, the top speed performance is not as good as what you'd get with other small air purifiers like the Levoit Vital 100S or the Kowei Air Mega 100. Using the buttons on the device, you can only switch between the fan mode, sleep, auto, and manual, but you need to use the app to actually set the manual fan speeds. The filter also doesn't come with enough carbon to make a significant difference to dealing with odors and gases. Okay, let's jump into the full review. I paid £69.99 or around $90 for our 4 Compact from the Mi UK store, but it's also available across Europe and loads of other regions if you buy directly through Xiaomi's store. In this video, I'll compare the Xiaomi 4 Compact to 106 air purifiers we've tested at House Fresh, based on our first-hand data on air cleaning performance, sound generation, efficiency, and real-life running costs. If you want to find out more about how we test our air purifiers, check out this video here. My first step when evaluating any air purifier is to look for KDAR figures to show whether the price matches the potential air cleaning power. In the case of Xiaomi, they don't send the devices to the Association of Home Appliance Manufacturers because they don't sell them in the US. That said, on their website, they do share data from a third-party lab stating that the 4 Compact has a KDAR of 230 cubic meters per hour or 135 CFM. Based on the reported KDAR alone, the 4 Compact offers good value at 68 cents per KDAR CFM. This is just 1 cent cheaper than the Winx A231, which has a higher KDAR score overall. Of course, the cost per KDAR calculation is where the 3 Pro from Airfanta shines with its incredible power packed into a small device, selling for an incredible good price. It's also worth mentioning that I've used the list prices for the chart, so the cost per KDAR of the devices like the Vital 100S or the Puro 240 are likely to be lower when they're using discount pricing. So on paper, the Xiaomi 4 Compact could be a great budget device. The 4 Compact is a small cylindrical air purifier that doesn't take up too much floor space. The size is similar to what you get with other small air purifiers like the Air Mega 100, Core 300S, Winx A231 and the Puro Air 240. Like other Xiaomi air purifiers we reviewed, the control panel consists of a touchscreen. In the case of the 4 Compact, the screen sits at the top of the device and it has 3 touch buttons. From left to right, you get a light button to dim or switch off the lights on the screen, a power button, and a mode that allows you to rotate between auto mode, manual mode, and sleep mode. The mode button doubles as a child lock, and I wish it was clearer in the design of the panel, as most people won't read the manual to learn that they need to press and hold this button for 7 seconds to engage the child lock. And in the case of manual mode, you will need to set a speed for it in the app based on the size of your room. You'll also get a bunch of indicators on the screen, such as a child lock indicator, Wi-Fi indicator, and filter life indicator. There's also a light bar at the top that changes colors from green to red, depending on the levels of particulates in the air. This is possible thanks to the infrared laser particle sensor inside the 4 Compact, which you will need to keep clean every few months. Now, the sensor in this device will be a cheaper sensor compared to what you get with the Xiaomi 4 Pro or the Xiaomi Elite, both of which have a PM2.5 and PM10 laser sensor that also measures temperature and humidity. As with other cylindrical air purifiers, you will be able to access the filter inside the 4 Compact after tipping on its head to rotate and pull the filter out. On their website, Xiaomi explains that the filters in the 4 Compact have a lower grade density than traditional HEPA grade filters, and they state that this will lead to a higher performance performance at a lower noise level. They also say in testing that the filters could remove 99.9% of particulates as small as 0.1 microns, which sounds impressive, but in fact something that many particle filters can achieve, including MERV 13 filters. Xiaomi also states that it's a 3-in-1 filter, which means there are 3 layers to it. First, you get an outer pre-filter mesh that covers around the particle filter, similar to what we see with the Core series from Levoit. Then you get a particle filter which uses fibers with electrostatic technology, and on the inside you get a layer of pelleted activated carbon to absorb odours and gases. Although it is worth mentioning that this is a small filter, so it doesn't come with enough carbon to help with serious issues with VOCs or strong smells. And that's pretty much it for the design of the device itself. So let's move on to the smartphone app. The Xiaomi 4 Compact has the full app support through the Xiaomi Home app. This app is used across all Xiaomi smart home devices, and I have to say I'm a big fan of its overall design and usability. Through the app, you will be able to adjust the fan speeds based on the size of your room, and you can also save your desired space as the manual mode the device will go into when selecting manual mode from the touchscreen. You also have the option to schedule routines, check the current filter lifespan, and set automations if you have other Xiaomi devices. Unlike the pricier Pro 4 or the Elite, you don't get an exact reading for the PM2.5, but you do get a combined indoor air quality score. Personally, I haven't seen any issues with the Xiaomi Home app, but I have seen some negative reviews on the App Store from people who had issues with their electronic scooters and their vacuum cleaners. It seems most issues are happening on iOS, as the current rating for the app is 3.7 out of 5 on Apple and 4.5 for Android users. But enough about the app, let's see what happened in the HouseFresh performance test. First, we tested the Xiaomi Compact 4 running at coverage 15 to 23 cubic meters, which is the top speed. According to our Purple Air sensor, the Xiaomi Compact 4 running at max speed needed 50 minutes to clear our 728 cubic feet test room of all PM1 particles. As you can see from the table, the Compact 4 was outperformed by small air purifiers from Levoit, Kowei and Winx. Based on this test, we estimate a PM1 KDAR of 117 CFM when accounting for the natural ventilation in our test room. And this aligns with the reported PM2.5 KDAR from Xiaomi. But it's not just about raw power when running at top speed. As I always say, if an air purifier is too loud, you will turn it off eventually. And that is why we don't just stop at particle removal at top speed. We used a sound meter to record how much sound the Xiaomi Compact 4 generates from 3 feet away. Unlike standard air purifiers, the Compact 4 doesn't have the traditional speed settings. It actually has 14 options based on room sizes, from 2 to 4 cubic meters to 16 to 27 cubic meters. For this test, I selected 6 different speeds. Be aware, our background noise is 35 decibels, so the Compact 4 running at fan speeds around 35 decibels will likely generate less sound if you could measure it in a silent room, but noise can be subjective, so please have a listen for yourself. The sound level at top speed is very similar to other small air purifiers we've tested, although it is on the higher side compared to the PureAir 240 and the Levoit Vital 100S. Now we have the sound levels at different fan speeds, we can find the speed that is below the 45 decibel limit for our quiet performance test. In the case of the Xiaomi 4 Compact, this would be speed 4, which generates 44.5 decibels. When I tested the particle speed removal at speed 4, the Xiaomi 4 Compact reached PM10 in 76 minutes, which we estimate a PM1 KDAR of 77 CFM. We can compare these results to other small air purifiers running at sub 45 decibel fan speeds. When accounting for sound, the Xiaomi 4 Compact ranks among the top 3 best performers on the table, right after the Core 300S and the Vital 100S from Levoit. However, part of this is down to the lack of fan speed options you get with the Winx and Kowei models, so their sub 45 decibel fan speed is much quieter than what you'll get with the small Xiaomi. But let's start adding up long-term costs to see how much money you would need to spend each year to run a 4 Compact in your home. We used our energy meter to record how much energy the Xiaomi 4 Compact uses when running at each fan speed and on standby. If you had to leave your Xiaomi 4 Compact running 24/7 at full speed, it would add $28.88 to your energy bill each year, assuming the latest US average of 12 cents and 68 per kilowatt hour. With this calculation in mind, we can compare the annual energy cost you can expect from the Xiaomi 4 Compact to other small air purifiers we've tested. As the table shows, the Xiaomi 4 Compact ranks number 3 as one of the least power-hungry small air purifiers after the Kowei Air Mega 100 and the Levoit Core 300S. However, it's not just energy costs that add to the running cost of an air purifier. You will need to replace the filters eventually. The OEM filters for the 4 Compact cost £24 or 99p or $32.43, and Xiaomi says you need to replace it every 6 to 12 months. As always, we will take the lowest estimates of 6 months to calculate the replacement costs in the worst case scenario. So according to our estimate, you will need to buy 2 filters for your 4 Compact over a year, and this will cost you £49.98p or $64.64. Now, I can combine the yearly filter replacement costs with energy consumption costs associated with running an air purifier 24/7 in your home. If you get a Xiaomi 4 Compact, you can expect to spend $93.52 to run it every day of the year at full capacity. Let's compare this with other small air purifiers in the same category. At $93.52 per year, the running costs for the Xiaomi 4 Compact are on the low side of the scale for the small air purifiers we've benchmarked it against. Like with the bigger version, Xiaomi has low running costs thanks to its low-cost OEM filters and energy-efficient devices. So is this £70 air purifier worth it? At this price, the 4 Compact will give you okay performance at top speed, but above average performance at sub 45 decibels, which I would argue is more important in your general day-to-day. It's also some of the fairest running costs when compared to other small devices, as you won't be having to spend an arm and a leg to use your air purifier each year. So out of the many small air purifiers on the market, the Xiaomi 4 Compact stands out as being good value, both at the point of purchase and in the long run. And this is a key point when it comes to small air purifiers and cheap units, as the low upfront costs will often trick you into buying them, but you're then stuck with a device that will cost you twice as much to run as the months go on. That being said, if you can try to go bigger and choose a mid-size air purifier like the Win X5500 II, the Levoit Vital 200S or the Kowei Air Mega 200M, as they will give you more power and will make a more meaningful difference to your air much faster than the 4 Compact ever will. But if you do need a small air purifier and Xiaomi sells devices in your country, then the 4 Compact is a good option. Anyway, as always, let me know if you have any comments about the 4 Compact, and I'll see you all in the next video.